Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sharon Drink with Matt, the album review. Today I'm speaking with Matt from LITTER. Thank you.
Hey,
Hey, big fellow.
how are you, mate?
Good, mate. I have no picture.
Start my video. Here we
There you
go.
are.
All right.
And now, yep.
There you go.
Excellent.
How does that work?
Yeah, no, good. How are you?
Good, man.
Excellent.
Good. Yeah.
So, new album out.
Yes. Monday?
Excellent. What's the name?
It's called. Well, it's got two titles because it's effectively, technically, two albums. So the punk side, or the 10 punk songs, are called Vignettes of Despondency.
Okay.
Arrogant, I know, but you know,
Why not?
and then the same 10 songs are replicated in jazz style on the other side, and that side is called A Life Alimentaire, which is bastardized French for, I don't know, a life that will do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah. Oh, dog.
So, what was it like in the studio? Did you guys have full reign? Was it?
Yeah. So the whole thing was put together with contributions from around the globe, basically. So it was a pre-lockdown concept, but was perfectly timed for a global pandemic. So that kind of worked for me. I recorded 10 songs, like a demo, just in, cassette player, corner of the room, that type of thing.
Yep.
With some mates of mine, and then I sent those out to mates around the globe, and they farmed in their contributions to Jay Wally from Frenzell.
Yep.
He has a fantastic setup down in Marrickville called the Pet Food Factory.
Yep.
And he's producing a lot of great and interesting stuff out of there. Principally, he did all of Blackie from the Hard-Ons, the year that he did a song every day for a year.
Oh, yeah.
So that was all done there. But it's not always punk stuff. I suppose people go and find him that, through their various interests in what he does with Frenzell Rom. So I just knew he'd produced Litter's first album too, and I just knew he'd do. And I approached him initially because he makes the type of punk rock himself that I like, and so it made for perfect sense to approach him, knowing that he would do a good job.
Yep.
And so, sorry, very long-winded answer to your question, but
No, that's fine.
When I turned up to the studio, I hadn't heard the songs since they were demoed. So a bunch of drummers recorded their drums, and then those files went to various places around the world for bass, and then that came back for guitar, or went in different places again for guitar, and then it all came back to Marrickville, and Jay had to sift through this Frankenstein of contributions.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a pain in the dick. He really wasn't. I don't think anybody that, including the jazz guys, I don't think anybody's really enjoyed the process of helping me make this thing. Like I don't think it's been a fun experience for any of them. It was just a pain in the ass for him because people so I mean, there's an unlimited list of amazing musicians contributing to this album. Um, all people that you would, 80% of them you would know, and you've probably interviewed in previous things because they're all in other bands.
Yep.
So Mick and Tara from the Radio Rejects,
Yep.
both made contributions. Mick's, of course, in Strawberry Fistcake as well, and
Yep.
a bunch of other things. And then, look, if I start listing,
Yeah.
I'll miss
No,
people.
understood.
Guys from Wood, the guys from Cousin Betty, like loads and loads of people. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. I didn't even realise, but yeah, John from Wood played guitar. Bill Gibson.
Oh my God, Eastern Dark.
Eastern Dark.
The Smelly Tongues.
Really played bass.
He is just fucking brilliant at the bass, mate.
Yes.
I used to watch him with the Smelly Tongues, and the way he used to pull that fucking string, like he used to blow me away all the time.
And he's not a bad. He's not the worst singer either.
No.
So he gets a cameo in the music video. I don't know if you noticed, but he's the guy that extracts the hate from Michael Myers. He's like our first single was "Hate Will Own You," and the film clips Michael Myers from Halloween going around stabbing everyone, and someone gives him a business card to a hate removalist, and it's Billy Gibson who takes operates on him. But loads and loads of people contribute. But sorry, again, really long-winded answer to the simple one question. I didn't hear the songs, and Jay had to put these things together, and that's what I was going to say. People would do what you instinctively do when you've been asked to do something like this. You don't just record your bit. You record other bits that you think will be of benefit. So not only has he got this, I didn't send him anything. I just turned up to do vocals at the end, and it meant that he would get a file from a guy who would say, Aaron's guitars, but it'd be like 4 different files. It would never just be one, because they'd give you a couple of different versions. Then they'd give you one with distortion, and so the poor bastard really had his work cut out for him. Him and his so Pet Food Factory are effectively 2 guys. So Jay does all the recordings and the pre-production and the pre-mix and the mixing, and then it goes to a guy called Clem down in Canberra, who's married to one of the Glitterous girls.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, and so he works his magic down there. So I absolutely had free reign, but so did everybody else, and I was kind of more interested in conceptually. The whole thing's a conceptual art wank, really, but I was much more interested in what, if I'd asked you to contribute something, like what that would sound like. So you, with all of your influences and all of your whatever, there was no judgment. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it until I went in to sing it. And so they could have been quite different. I mean, thankfully the drums hold it together, and then the bass guys do their bit. And then that plus the demo, everybody's got the same demo. So that plus the demo would give a guitarist an idea of what was expected. But still, I didn't determine what distortion they used or how many tracks they sent or anything like that. So everybody had free reign, and nobody was under any scrutiny. They're all bedroom recordings sent to Jay during the lockdown period globally. So it's contributions from Philadelphia, Japan.
Wow.
So that's the deal. Yes, free reign, but no, absolutely no. No one had any governance over anybody's contribution.
What's your favourite song
on the album? I think there's a song called is there a German expression for this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that hate you have for someone that like you. It's because Germans are great at truncating like a whole sentence into one word.
Mm, mm.
Um, I can't think of the word, but there is a German word for you have a face that deserves a smack. Right?
Wow, just one word.
And it's one word, right?
Yeah.
But it's effectively that sentence squashed down, right?
Wow.
Um, and they have this great, Schadenfreude. Do you know this German term Schadenfreude?
Yes.
It's that enjoyment one gets at somebody else's misery,
Mm.
but it would take that sentence to explain what Schadenfreude is. So I wondered, I really fucking hate this person, but I kind of hate them for what they've done to someone else. They haven't done anything to me, and I'm pretty confident the Germans would have an expression for that, and that's what that
Yeah.
song's about. So yeah, I really like that song. It's one of two that I didn't write the bulk of the music for. It was written by my brother-in-law, coincidentally, who's the main riff man for Cousin Betty, band called Cousin Betty, and he's had this thing kicking around forever. I mean, the chord structure is probably 10 years old, and he could never get anything going with it. And I threw a middle eight in it and claimed it. So yeah, it's easily my favourite on the
Excellent.
record, and it's also the least. It's incredibly melodic and really poppy, lots of pop sensibility, and I approached it like Lou Barlow. Is that the guy from Sebadoh? Like
Oh yeah, yep.
I kind of, because when I went in to sing, like they're all done. Like I just got to rock up and sing, and I think we did the vocals. I think we did the vocals in one day.
Wow.
And so I had to work out what songs I was going to belt and scream and had the most to bellyache about, and put them like the more aggressive ones towards later in the day, so that I still had a voice for them.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's my favourite, but yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it will change,
Mm-hmm.
It'll change. I can't fucking stand my own voice at the best of times. So I think I like that one the most because it sounds the least like me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. So like with all your other offerings that you've brought out, other than the two different genres, is there anything you did this time that's different other than what you've done with the 2 album thing?
How do you mean? Have I done more? Have I participated in other genres or?
No. Like, because you've got this is not the first thing you've ever brought out.
No, I'm an old bastard. I've been doing stuff forever. Sure.
Exactly. So is this like have you gone just totally out of your comfort zone that you've usually been in your past creations on this one, other than the two different genres?
No, really, only the like. I like pop music. I really like songs.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Like verse, chorus that's separate from the verse.
Yep.
Middle eight. Like give me a song, and to me, it doesn't matter if it's fucking Cemetery Gates by Pantera,
Yep.
or Michelle by the Beatles. Like it's just got to have. It's just got to be something. There's got to be something melodic and memorable about it. So I'm a pop guy, but then I think the Descendants are as pop as they might be Giants. I just think they have faster riffs.
100%.
You know what I mean? They're great. Like if you slowed a Descendants song down and played it with a couple of acoustic guitars, you would have a Beatles song. They're fucking amazing pop songs, right?
Yep.
And and same too with the, you know, the Buzzcocks would be my favourite English punk band because they're just so consistently melodic, you know,
Yeah.
and they have great pop sensibility. And then after those guys, as far as punk goes, probably the Stranglers and early XTC. But XTC, of course, developed into much more of a Beatles-based thing later on. But yeah. So no, I haven't really gone out of my comfort zone until this album because I'd never done jazz before, and part of the experiment again of this art wank thing that I've just done was try and learn if punk songs would work in a jazz setting without recourse to parody. You know, so there's that guy Richard Cheese. Do you know this guy? Oh, he does like lounge versions of like Welcome to the Jungle and stuff
Oh
like.
yeah, okay, yeah. Like yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And so like okay, that, you know, that it's not a new concept, but I think those things are they're gimmicky and they're quirky and they're a bit of fun, but wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to parody my own stuff. I was just curious to know the one jazz reference. You would think, having read any interviews I've done about this or heard any interviews I've done about this project, you would think the only jazz artist that I've ever heard of is Nina Simone because she's the only one I ever reference. But in reality, I'm a massive jazz fan, and I've seen some of the greats, and I own a bunch. I probably own more jazz stuff than I do punk stuff in my personal collection. But I reference her a lot because I can't think of too many other artists that had the sheer fucking bollocks that she had. She was a fucking monster. Like she was political. She was, you know, if she hated something, it went straight into the thing, and you could feel it. You know, it was visceral. You know, she didn't change the genre. She just applied her venom to the genre, you know. And I was curious. I don't know too many other people, or I don't know any other people that have done that. And so I was curious to know if the content for a punk song, they're all written as punk songs, would that work? Would the lyrics work? You know, would the, you know, can you say fuck you and croon? And can I personally croon? Can I sing like? Can my vocals be worthy of the other brilliant musicianship on that jazz thing?
Yeah.
So as opposed to the punk stuff, which was all hand selected people. So for instance, the guy from John from Moot, like I knew he could do what I wanted for a particular song. So I sent it to him specifically because I'd heard a Moot song that I felt was enough like the song that he's on for him to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that with the jazz stuff. I don't know any of those people. They speak a different language. They live in their own little bubble. They don't go outside of that bubble, you know, like, so in the studio with the jazz guys who are, you know, I'll always mispronounce her surname, but you know, Monica, is it Trapiana? Trapicana?
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Right, okay, so the guys who make up her band are a trio called the Pocket Trio.
Yes.
And these are the guys that did principally did the jazz stuff.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So, and then I got the horns. The horn section are from the voice band, right? You know that fucking horrible Find a Dickhead karaoke.
Yeah.
You know, Australia's Got Talent type shit. They're the horns guys on that show, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't have the option of saying, well, you play jazz guitar, can you play on this? Because I didn't know any of those people. I don't. In fact, if there's guitar on the jazz side, it only turns up in a couple of songs. But that is actually a mate of mine. but he's not a jazz player. I just knew he was capable of it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have any of that material without those professional jazz players. And I don't. They're not the circles people like you and I move in. You know, we can go and watch a jazz band, but when they come off stage, you may as well be, you know, may as well be Paul McCartney. You've got nothing to like. You don't have anything to present to these people. You can't talk about the rigors of the tour with these people. You can't talk about, you know, because they're completely different language. And so in the studio, I remember them talking to me about their experiences with punk, and it all kind of finished with, you know, come out and play or something like that in 94 when they were kids, when they were in their formative, you know, like first couple of years of high school or whatever, and their mates were all into Blink-182 or you know, fucking, well, I can't remember any of those other horrible bands, but those type of American, you know, corporate rock punk institutions. Who does that come out and play? Offspring.
Yeah.
So they you know, they knew Offspring and they knew Blink-182, and these were their kind of reference points to try and engage with me. But it was as kind of awkward as me talking to them about jazz music because
Matty, sorry about this, mate. Can we do a part 2 in an hour?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent, mate. I've got another interview right now. And I'm really digging this, man. Like, fucking, I'm really enjoying. Can we do another bit in about an hour?
Yeah.
All right, I'll send you a link.
All right, mate. Perfect. Take care. Mate. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Got it. And join with, where's the fucking video?
It's there somewhere.
How do you do that? Bollocks. Start video. There it is. There you go. There we go. Have we got a continuity? Okay, mate. Was the hair the same? Yeah.
I've got the right shirt on, haven't I?
Same shirt. Yeah. I did think about that.
Yeah.
It all looks the same. So we're both spliced this in easily.
Great. Cool.
Over to you guys.
Cool.
Okay, so tell me more about it. Like, we've got 10 more minutes. So tell me more about it.
Ask me stuff. I hate talking about it. So I hate talking about myself. So
whose idea was it to get all different, like?
I've been in bands forever, and we discussed this in the interview we did with the boys.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking get into a band and you rehearse and you go and play a bunch of shows and you hate each other after 6 years, you know, and you never want to see each other and the band breaks up and nothing comes of it. Or you become astronomically successful, and, you know, that's not going to happen at my age. So I can at least remove one of the potential delusions from the expectations. So I have a kind of a schizophrenic attitude when it comes to doing artistic stuff now, because I can't justify just doing one thing all the time. This is why Litter twice now has been a band it's had its final show booked technically before its first show, and we've worked towards that both times. So the first Litter thing was a concept as well. I wrote 10 songs very quickly. I put a band together via SMS. All those guys turned up and we rehearsed those songs very quickly, and we played 10 shows and recorded each of the shows and committed that to a 10-inch vinyl. The best of 10 songs. Again, Jay at Pet Food Factory both mixed and engineered that one, and produced that one. And so that was that album, and it came out, and you either ordered it on Facebook, or you didn't. So in the world, I think a couple went to like Israel and Italy and whatever, but in the world there's fewer than 40 copies of that first album.
Wow.
And you can't get it. Like I didn't put it. It's not on. It won't be available on the streaming services ever or anything like
Excellent.
that. You either bought it or you can't. You either saw the band or you can't. Right.
Yeah.
So, given that was my set of challenges for the first thing, when I got excited about doing it again, I had to have a new set, and so the live thing was secondary. And I probably made mention of this in the interview with the boys that you've done. Are we allowed to talk about it in the past tense? Yeah, right. Where like getting one show with those guys would have been mission statement enough. So to have done a nice little tour and have played any shows, it didn't matter that some were cancelled, and it didn't matter that we couldn't do others, because it was just about presenting this block of songs in a live format. So I forget the question, but yeah, if I don't do
42.
If I don't do stuff with some kind of caveat or additional challenge, I get bored very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. The album, is it coming out vinyl?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, it's gone to the lathe cutter this week. So while it's available on Monday our time, I don't know when the review comes out, but while it's available on Monday, you'll buy it and the vinyl will just turn up when the vinyl turns up, but you'll get a digital copy immediately. So you'll have something to listen to. But if you buy the vinyl copy, you'll get it. Or
if you can send me the merch link.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. I'm getting into me vinyls again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
me too. I made a self-commitment to only buy vinyl a couple of years ago because we culled all our CD collection, the missus and I, and we just took the slicks out and put them in a big collapsible envelope. So we've got all our CDs and the covers, but we pissed all the jewel cases off so we could have a room full of CDs in a couple of kind of albums. You can't do that with vinyl, but I didn't want to keep buying hard cased CDs and have nowhere to put them. So that was a good way to get new music for 1 year or a couple of years was just to buy vinyl. So I can't recommend it enough. Yeah.
No, excellent. I'm glad that it's starting to be the in thing again, but it's
I think for punk, I mean, it's such a dedicated audience, and I think punk and metal are probably the only two genres that could do it, because it's probably safe to say that it'll cost me a kidney and a shiv attack at a train station. That lads that listen to fucking skip hop, they don't care. It's all on streaming services. They don't, I don't think there's going to be a revolutionary rap album come out on vinyl anytime. So the genre's kind of done. Prove me wrong, but I think punk, by its very nature, has always been a very insular, supportive, community. We discussed that too in the last thing, just about how people find out about you and get into you like you're the best thing since sliced bread, and just because you're making a different sound of the stuff that they like. So I think there'll always be a market for punk and metal on vinyl.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Last vinyl I got actually was Radio Reject.
Oh yeah.
And I got, I think, 96 out of 100.
Yep.
So they only brought 100 out.
Yes, yeah. I'm doing the same. It'll only be 100. Finally, I just got off the phone from the manager between these while I've been talking to you, and we were only going to do 50 CDs because I think that's a kind of a dying art form as well. I mean, if you can
For this genre, yeah.
Well, if you can buy digital, you may as well get it streamed to you, and then it's just straight on your computer.
But can I ask, do you guys get the same digital as you do CD or vinyl?
Do you mean the returns?
Gosh.
Well, no. I mean, I'm not. I'll take a bath on the vinyl just because I want it to be available on vinyl, and because it suits. Because it was always made with a vinyl mindset in that there's 10 songs on one side and the same 10 songs on the other side. It was always I was always going to make vinyl. I was working toward vinyl. It's going to sound interesting on CD, I think, where the 10 songs has kind of run into each other, because I will have sent you a sampler to listen to, yeah, and at about 9 minutes 40, all the punk stuff stops and the jazz stuff starts, and it's odd. It just goes into this entirely different genre if you're unaware that it's going to happen. But on vinyl, of course, you have to physically take it and flip it and listen to the other side. What would really pump me, though, like I hadn't considered it till just now, is that somebody who's into jazz would buy this record. That would be an unexpected but very joyful.
It'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah. I mean, they do, like, outside of I could sooner kill myself than listen to myself. But as far as the musicianship goes, it's pristine. It's proper jazz.
I'm really excited. I want to hear the whole thing.
Yeah, cool.
I'm really looking forward to that. So I don't think I asked this one. How long were you in the studio with this? I know, like, you only did your little bit, kind of thing, and you had a bang, but like, how long did you say to Jay, here it is?
Yeah.
And
oh, see, because it was coming back to Jay from everywhere, and he was piecing it together, jigsawing it together, and then he just called me and just said, "It's all here, it's all ready to go. Am I expecting anything else?" No, cool. Okay. Did you get the bass from Japan? Did you get Bill Gibson's bass? Did you get John Walker's guitar? Yep, good, got it, great, cool. I'll see you on Friday. And I went down, and so my physical time in the studio, outside of doing the demos, which again was just the cassette player in the corner of the room, and 2-3 hours doing that, and then sending that out, that combined with my actual physical time singing what's manifested as the album, took is it like less than a day in it, it's like 6 hours maybe of my life in rooms in front of microphones for this thing,
Yeah.
So very, very, like, I've made it, abundantly clear in anything any statements I've made. Like, I'm kind of not only the weakest element of this project, but also I had the least to do with it. I can take such little credit. Everybody on the punk side who contributed to a song is registered as a writer when I submitted it to APRA, because you can't expect people to contribute blindly and not include them in the authorship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can't say to you, Matty, here you put, like, unless you just want to do it. I can't say to you, mate, can you take 20 minutes out of your time to listen to this song and then commit a couple of hours to it, putting your best guitar down on this thing. I can't very well say, well, cool, kiss my ass. Nothing. So those people that contributed, any of the contributors are registered as writers, co-writers.
Yeah. So one thing I want to ask, like, okay, fuck, what do you know? This is not your last album. Okay, so, but is this your Pink Floyd The Wall? Is this your Dark Side of the Moon?
No, again, like I mean, so I sing in Cousin Betty. I've referenced them a couple of times. I'm in this band with my brother-in-law called Cousin Betty, and they're like a very Desert Sessions, Queens of the Stone Age, stoner rock type of thing, right? And we just have songs, but I've already told him like that the next album, the first album's just about in the can. It'll come out early in the new year, but I've already told him the next album's going to be a rock opera, because I can't just do an album. I don't want to. We don't consume music like we used to. What's the last album, air quotes album? Like, I don't mean you got a Radio Rejects vinyl and you got whatever else on vinyl, and they're, you know, those guys, what have they done? 9 to 12 songs constitutes an album, I suppose. But is there some kind of narrative to it? Is there a theme to it, or is it just 12 songs? Because we don't listen to music like we used to. I wouldn't sit down and listen to 12 songs by anyone anymore. We don't have the attention span, and we don't need it, because we can just go click and on to the next thing. And so since the advent of the iPod, 15, 20 years ago, I can now listen to the Pistols and Run DMC and Devo, and then, you know, the Hoodoo Gurus and a litany of, you know, New Christ and Radio Birdman, and then the Beatles, and then fucking Taylor Swift, and not miss a beat. You know what I mean? Like, I just program whatever I want on, and so so if that's the way we consume music, it seems redundant.
Oh, sorry, mate, kid. Look, I know we've got to go. Just wait. One thing I would say, with the Radio Rejects, they did have a theme on that album. It was
they would do.
It was movies, like the horror movies. And then they did the Breakfast Club and all that sort of shit.
And so that's exactly what I mean, right? They have approached that thing with a view to keep you as interested as they need to be, because it's not. So this isn't my Dark Side of the Moon any more than anything else that I'll do from this point on, because. But that's a great question, in that the Dark Side of the Moon is an album. It's like, you put it on and you listen to it all the way through, and you put on the other side and you listen to it all the way through. And I don't know if you've done this, but that album in particular, it marries up with Wizard of Oz. Have you ever done this?
Yeah.
No, I've done it, and it's mind-blowing. I can imagine some stoner absolutely losing their mind, some acid head losing their mind watching it, because it's freaky how often it links up, right, and works. But I think something like OK Computer by Radiohead. That to me, that's the last album. I can't think of any other albums where you've put it on and you've got to listen to it all the way through, and particularly since CD, so you don't have to flip aside. You could listen to those 10 songs, 12 songs, whatever it is, in a row.
Have the keys.
So I can't produce, me personally, I can't justify producing music like we used to. Because we don't listen, we don't consume it like we used to. So why would you present it to the world in a format that they don't, you know? I want your kids to listen to this stuff.
Yes.
And I don't, and no arrogance or big noting, but I mean, can you imagine my delight if you, because you're such a punk fan, you put the jazz side on, and one of them, and it inspired one of them to fucking chase up,
mate,
Duke Ellington, Glenn Miller or any of these old guards, you know,
Yeah.
Dave Brubeck or Chet Baker, you know, like, can you imagine that would be my life's, you know,
Yeah.
crowning glory. And so we don't consume music like that anymore. And so for them to have the ability to go, oh, okay, well, I didn't like that little fat guy singing, but I didn't mind the music.
Yeah.
I'll go and listen to other jazz music. That'd be killer for me, you know, and that's the way we consume music now, you know.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just getting shit thrown at me now.
Where are you going?
I've got to go pick some stuff up from about half an hour's drive away.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the
and
cat.
You said, are we gonna meet, you and I, at the Descendants tribute?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
My wife and I are going up there. We're actually going up there with Josh.
With Josh.
From the Rejects.
Yeah.
We're going up there with them. So
yeah, that's cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, I wanted to try and get one of the shows down your way, but it was too late. Maybe next year.
Definitely.
The guys I'm playing with are fun and interesting, and it's such a great album, so much fun to participate in. And man, if you want to have a sing, learn a song and jump up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm actually gonna do Monsters with the Radio Rejects. So
well, fucking learn a Descendants song and get up.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm serious.
I know. I sing in the shower, Suburban Home.
Yeah,
all the time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Get up. They're not my songs. So I'm encouraging all and sundry to get up and have a sing, because they're not.
You're gonna want to be playing music at 67 years of age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you've seen those guys. They're like children. Those guys. They're like young men. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, 40 years, 45 since what's it called? Never mind the bollocks.
Yeah.
And in 5 years, the whole California, you know, the genre-defining album of For America came out. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
definitely.
do your thing. I'll see you later.
Hey, have you got time next Saturday?
Yeah, potentially. I think there's always time, sometime.
I'd like to do a part 3 of this. Well, this is the best album review I've done, actually.
Yeah, right. All right.
And I think there's a lot more to talk about.
Okay, well, have a listen to the sampler and pick my brain about particular things, because I hate talking about myself, and I hate, you know, like, as much as I want to promote it, it's a dirty business. I'm proud, but I have so little to do with the best elements of it, so I can't take much credit for it.
You're on the vocals, that's the best. Thank you so much, Matty.